let's go to our guest line. If you happen to be watching us on QSportsTalk.com, you see our next guest live and in person. He joins us at 12:15 every Thursday throughout the college basketball season. Adrian Autry joining us, brought to you by Oswego County Mutual and by Labatt. Coach, great win on Tuesday. I didn't see that coming. I got to start with that. Did you see that coming? Did you think you guys were on the verge of doing something like that?
Of course. Come on. I got ultimate confidence in my team. No, I thought we prepared well. I thought we had a really good game plan in place to play. So I thought we were prepared. Obviously, when you get to the games, you never know. You just hope. But I thought we did a good job, and I thought the guys were really locked in, focused on North Carolina the couple of days prior to that.
Part of that game plan, of course, Coach, was playing a whole lot of zone. I think that's the most zone that we've seen out of you guys over the course of 40 minutes this season. What did you like about that particular defense? Why was that the move against North Carolina? And I guess why did the guys execute it as well as they did?
Well, I think, for us, obviously our roster's a little thin right now, especially with Malik being the only available big, not only available big, but playing extensive minutes there. Obviously, we have Mounir. I just thought it was the best defense to keep us, one, our best players on the court, and two, not allowing North Carolina to play at the pace that they wanted to play at.
Coach, your offense looked really good in this game. And, we get lots of calls asking about, does Syracuse run plays, which is a silly question to get asked. But what worked on offense? What made it work so good against North Carolina in this game and as compared to other games?
I think, Paulie, you know the answer to that. We made shots.
What is it?
You make shots.
Yeah, but the shots were good looks. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys got good looks against North Carolina.
Yeah, the one thing is I thought we did a good job of, I thought JJ and Judah did a good job of taking what the defense gave them. I thought we were a little bit more patient offensively. I thought we had really good spacing. And again, plays, you can run plays, but what happens when the play breaks down? And that's now you talk about concepts, and I think that's what people don't understand. You can't run a play every time down, but if you can teach your guys how to play within spacing and concepts and reads, those become your plays. That's how you play basketball, teaching people how to play basketball. So people don't really understand that. And again, it always looks better when you're making shots. In our last three games, we've scored a lot of points. We scored a lot of points, and I think that's the one thing. It's been our defense being more consistent on the defensive end. But our offense is, we have plays, we run plays, but if you run that play and you don't get the look that you want, then what? And typically a play takes 4 or 5 seconds, 3 seconds. Now once that play, you have the play and it doesn't get the look that you want. Now you got to play basketball. And that's what the game is about, being how to play basketball.
Coach, something else, you talked about spacing. How much of a difference does it make when you guys come out early and, you talk about making shots? Malik Brown hits 2 threes. Chris Bell hits 2 threes. Does that change the whole game where now they've got to defend those two guys out on the perimeter?
I'll be honest. I think it's more of a bonus for us when Malik makes 2 threes. I don't think teams have really adjusted to that. But Chris Bell, he's the guy that, that gets a lot of attention, and he creates spacing for us. He's the one guy that I do know. I think Malik is obviously he's shooting it well right now, but I think people are more reluctant to, let him shoot a little bit more. I think they want to try to focus on stopping JJ and Judah and not letting Chris get open looks as well.
One of the key stats from this game, Coach, I don't need to tell you this, but we'll point out that, the rebounding numbers, and I think we talked about rebounding last week, right? That, it seemed like in the last 3 losses that not only had the opponent scored a lot of points, but, rebounding was an issue. We know rebounding was an issue the first time around against Carolina. And you didn't win the rebounding battle, but you were within 8. I would assume that's a number that you feel good about and you can live with. And I guess what changed on the glass? Is it an effort thing? Was it more that did the zone help with the rebounding? Why the improvement on the glass?
Well, I'll tell you this. we shot the ball 60%, so it wasn't a lot of rebounds out there. The Clemson rebounds was because we didn't make shots. All right, so now you got to be able to make a difference between what rebounds that we're talking about. You know, the offensive rebounds, the putbacks. Those are the ones. I think Clemson had more of defensive rebounds because we were not shooting well. We didn't make shots. So that's that whole 9 minutes or 7 or 8 minute stretch where we didn't make shots. That's where the difference was. So I think the North Carolina game, we made shots. So it wasn't a lot of rebounds out there. And then we did a decent job. We did battle them on the board, so they didn't get a lot of offensive rebounds, but they still got a fair amount that I think we should have reduced. 3 or 4 of those, and the game is a different game as far as the score.
Coach, after the first North Carolina game, you jokingly said, "Yeah, we're not. What North Carolina game? How do you not forget that game going into this game? And how did you get your guys to believe that we can beat a team that just gave us one of the worst losses in ACC history for our program?"
Well, I've said this from the beginning. This is a competitive group of guys. No matter what the result is, they come back and they're confident that they can beat anybody and win any game. And I feel the same way. So again, when we lost to North Carolina, at that particular time, you can't do nothing about it. You just got to get ready for the next game. It was an embarrassing loss, and these guys got pride. So it wasn't. I didn't need to motivate them. They knew what was at hand, what was at hand. It was a team that embarrassed us. And again, we have pride, we're competitors, and, we didn't play our best basketball, but a lot had to do with them that day. But we always feel like when we don't play well, when we really watch it, it's more about what we didn't do as opposed to what that team did.
Coach, in hearing the players talk in the locker room afterwards, I think Judah Mintz in particular was talking about how you guys had been competitive with good teams. You go back to like the Tennessee game. It's a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go, and it kind of got away from you. And, Gonzaga was competitive and kind of got away from you. And, Duke, it's a close game at halftime and kind of got away from you. But you hadn't won one like that. And what can a win like this do for a team's confidence and for these players to realize, okay, like this is how, this is what we need to do to win this kind of game. And if you could beat North Carolina, you could beat anybody. So what can this win do for your team here moving forward?
I think it gives them a real natural confidence, accomplishment. They actually accomplished it. Talking about it and saying, hey, this is what you have to do to win the game, then actually doing it and winning the game, I think it gives them a true belief in what they need to do to win a game. Because they just did it. And again, North Carolina is top 5 team, top 7 team in the country, top 10 for sure. And to be able to do that, I think, hopefully it gives them confidence and it gives them a blueprint of what you need to do to win games.
All right, looking ahead now, you've got a Georgia Tech team that is really tough to figure out, right? I mean, they've got 3 wins in conference, 11 losses. Those 3 wins are Duke, Carolina, and Clemson, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you know that they're capable, certainly, and they played another close one last night, lost to Notre Dame at Notre Dame in a game that went right down to the wire. What stands out to you about this Yellow Jacket squad as you get ready to play them?
I think what you just talked about, the wins, the ability to win. I'll tell our guys today, you can't play their record. You can't look at their record. Same thing with Louisville. As a coach, you're watching games and you're watching teams improve, and they're young. I mean, we're young. They might be younger than us. They battle. They don't get blown out. They battle for the most part. I think they lost one. I think the last game, Wake Forest, was a game that was a big difference. But they've had huge victories, and they've all been at home. That's what you're talking about. I mean, again, they beat Duke, they beat North Carolina, they beat Mississippi State earlier in the year. So they have huge victories at home. They have the ability. Well, Coach David Steinmeier's done a phenomenal job with them, and so they can beat anybody. And you got to prepare to get their best version. You got to be prepared to go against their best version.
Coach, something that's come up a lot in the past couple of days since the North Carolina game on our calls and chats is, Justin Taylor got booed by some of the fans as he was being announced. What do you do as a coach to, do you guys even notice that when you're on the court? And second of all, what do you do as a coach to keep a kid engaged, who's struggling, but he can play this game.
Yeah, again, I heard the boos, and I was very disappointed, and I'm glad you brought that up. That should never happen, all right? Our fans, our student body should never boo any of our players. Our players give 110%, and a guy that is obviously offensively is not playing well, but he does everything you need to do to help win games. He's selfless. He's had, he defended Shefflin, one of the better players during that Clemson game. He does all the other things. And be honest with you, when you're struggling, you have to do all the other things so you get yourself going. That happens. You play this game long enough, you're going to have ups and downs, good games, bad games. It's going to be stretches of games. But I was very disappointed that our own student body and fans booed someone that, chose to come here, gives us heart, sweat, and tears every day to help us win. And again, no one's perfect, and so I just thought I was very upset about that.
Coach, one more on that is, did you see anything out of him in the North Carolina game? He took 2 shots from what I recall that he made. One, his foot slipped a little bit in the lane, but he was aggressive getting to the basket. Is that a positive you could take out of this?
Absolutely. I thought, like you said, I thought he made 2 good moves. I thought he had, for a guy that's not shooting it like he wants to, I thought that extra pass that he gave to JJ was unbelievable. He's still impacting us, and he had a hand in helping us win that game. That 3 that he passed up and gave to JJ, I thought that was a big time play. I thought the drives were good. He has to get comfortable. And I told him, you take the shots that you feel comfortable with, you make the plays that you need to make. You make the best plays that you feel comfortable with. And I thought he did that.
Well said, Coach. We'll leave it right there. I know you've got the Coach Autry show tonight over at Carrabba's. Enjoy that. And again, great win. Congrats on the win. Your first win over a ranked opponent, first of many, I'm sure. Enjoy it, Coach, and best of luck Saturday at Georgia Tech.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you guys later.
All right, that is head coach Adrian Autry, brought to you every week by Labatt and by Oswego County Mutual, Paulie.
Michael and our who asked that? LA Orange wants to know: is it okay to boo me at the Dome? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, it's encouraged.
Just don't do it at times when Syracuse has the ball or when they're introducing the Syracuse player.
Right. We don't want it to be misconstrued.
I don't want it to be like, we were just booing Paulie when you guys are booing somebody.
315-437-7644. Phone line's now open until 1:30. That's when Matt Park joins us. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.